Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. What's going on today? The chat is up and running. How's everybody doing? What's on your mind today? Afternoon Chat, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a free show. No midstream ads, no sponsors, no commercials of any kind. No set topics. The people in the chat determine what we talk about. There's nothing predetermined. Each broadcast is wide open. The only real rules is we need to follow the community guidelines that are established by YouTube. It's the only platform I'm streaming on, so let's not piss them off. Okay? I'm not running for political office. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. I am not the star of the show. The people in the chat are the guest stars. They determine everything. So what's on your mind today? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm following my local news this morning. It's, the same old Epstein garbage. The rats are scurrying, but that's all I see. A lot of scurrying, a lot of covering up, no transparency, no accountability. They're still continuing to play their little blame game. It'll get them nowhere. While Epstein was molesting children, there's no doubt, grooming children, no doubt. But in essence, the man was a pimp. Who paid the pimp? That's what we want to know. We want the financial documents. Who was paying the pimp the money? He wasn't giving those girls away for free. I'm sorry. These are the facts. I don't care how much you see these guys doing a soft shoe and trying to make believe that they're on the good guy's side. They're not. They are the problem. They are the cover-up. You and I are held accountable for all of our actions. We would like to see some of these billionaire types held accountable for just some of their actions. So that's what's going on in my world. What's going on with you guys? We heard from another new country yesterday. Hungary weighed in. I found it quite refreshing. We're getting an international audience base, and I'm just delighted with it. I'm diving into the analytics a little bit more. Still working on the video editing software. Trying to determine what I want to use. But I decided there's also no hurry. We're plugging along just fine the way we're going. The viewing hours are up. The views are up. I'm actually getting a couple of likes now and again. Had a couple of comments put on the channel. It's progressing. It should be interesting to watch this channel grow. I'm figuring to do this for a minimum of 3 years, so we've got a little bit of time. The only real pressing thing is the viewing hours. We need those to hit 4,000 viewing hours in one calendar year. We're not on pace to do it, but hey, we'll see. Yesterday, we didn't have anyone chatting early, but late we had a couple of people come in. I found it quite refreshing. What I had been ending the show with was my live and let live policy. Trying to explain to people that they got to stop picking on their neighbors. Trying to micromanage their neighbors' lives. It never works. You can't do it with your children. You can't do it with your neighbors. Can't do it with your coworkers. The only life you can micromanage is your own. Okay? That's all there is to it. You've got to allow people to be individuals. We all have common ground. But we are all individuals at the same time. For instance, I smoke cigarettes. I do not recommend it, but I do it. Hence my point, leave people alone. You can't stop people from smoking. You can't stop people from eating cheesecake either. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. If you're having trouble chatting, you need to go to youtube.com and you need to download the Discord app. Unless you've got one of the latest smart TVs, you're going to need another device, a phone, a tablet, a computer, in order to be able to chat. It's my understanding that the latest smart TVs can do it, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I don't believe it yet. Personal opinion. That's all I can offer. Okay. I'm in Michigan. Where are you guys at? It's in the 40s out there today, somewhere out there. It seemed a little damp, a little rainy, but I was only out briefly. Still wondering what happened to our friend Nunu. I'm assuming that his internet's been out for a few days. It happens from time to time. It happened to me last year a couple of times. But I don't want to fall down that whole spectrum rabbit hole. Okay. Let's just suffice it to say that it's my belief if you've got a good product, it would remain operational. Okay. Once again, just personal opinion. Yeah, the beard's getting kind of unruly. I thought about trimming it this morning, but I didn't. I don't know if you can hear the birds in the background, but they're out there chirping, going crazy. I also saw a number of geese flying south for the winter. I'm not headed south. I'm going to batten down the hatches and stay here. But just a reminder, the 27th of this month, like a week from today, there won't be an afternoon chat. I'll be taking the day off so I can watch my Lions play football. They'll be hosting the Green Bay Packers at Ford Field. I fully expect the Lions to whoop the tar out of them, but that's, once again, personal opinion. So what are you guys up to today? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm doing I'm doing ham steak for dinner. Ham steak and American fries. I pre-baked my potatoes, so all I got to do is fry them up in butter. That's why it's hot in here today. I turn the air conditioner on, but it generally takes a half an hour to catch up to the apartment. Yeah, I got Crumbelina doing some research on the channel. Well, I'm thinking she's about to advise me. She's due over this evening, so I'll probably get an earful this evening, and she'll make an honest attempt to straighten me out. It's good to have friends. As far as the channel goes, I need the viewing hours, and I also need the likes and the subscribes. I have a tendency not to mention it enough, I guess. So at least I mentioned it today. That's a little bit of progress, right? I'm just getting ready to break into my daily Gatorade. I did not have peanuts for lunch today. I had cheese. I think it's part of being a senior citizen is you just don't eat the large meals early in the day. I just kind of graze, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I did not take a nap today. Well, I know I'll be watching Thursday night football tonight, but it's not the Lions, so I have no real interest in the game. I'll probably tune it out by halftime. Thursday nights, I prefer to watch it on YouTube with Tom Grossi. Don't know the guy. I just think he's funny. He does do a good job with the chat, though. At least he appears to. Not too much else going on around here. It's relatively quiet. I did get a war update earlier from the Enforcer. I checked out their stuff from yesterday. And these Eastern European countries, I think they're starting to get fed up living under the threat of Putin. And I'm expecting them to clap back at him somewhere in here. NATO's got to do something. Well, I think this is all part of his intimidation campaign. All he's really doing is giving these people more reason to support Ukraine. Personal opinion. As far as Venezuela goes, I'm expecting the United States to do some heinous acts shortly. I'd say probably within the next week. Well, they're going to want to distract from the whole Epstein debacle. I haven't heard anything as far as the Epstein ballroom. I don't know when they're planning on having that completed. Yeah, the American oligarchy, the billionaires, are building a shrine to their favorite pedophile. I call it the Epstein ballroom. Yeah, they destroyed the entire east wing of the White House in order to build it, which I find it hard to believe that they had to destroy anything. I think it's more like they wanted to destroy. Well, our president doesn't respect boundaries. He doesn't understand that he is a tenant, not an owner. I'm starting to think that he's very sheltered. I don't think he's getting all the information. I think he's surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men that are filtering his intake. I don't think he has a clue as to what's going on in the real world. Personal opinion. I mean, feel free to disagree. Jump in the chat anytime you like. Anytime you want to change the topic, feel free. Now, my personal opinion is we're average Americans were never going to get invited to the Epstein ballroom. Well, we'll see. 90,000 square foot or some silly shit. And just, something obscene. Okay. Another distraction technique is all I see it as. I'm surprised he hasn't put in a golf course yet, right there on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's just sad what he's doing to this country. I think he's painting his own portrait as a villain with no remorse. I seriously doubt that history will be kind. He may think he's writing the history books, but once he's out of office, all these people will turn on him like the pack of rats that they are. And his self-enrichment of his second term, I think, will tarnish his legacy forever. It's a shame. I mean, the guy's in a position he could do great things for this country if he wanted to. Like give every American health care or repair our health care system. He's not interested in doing anything that we need. He's just interested in lining his own pockets. It's, American oligarchy. Plain and simple. Right now, he's got all the tech giants basically, taking a knee. Give him anything he wants so that they can get all the deregulation they want. The next president will just go in and fix it all. Anybody that's investing anything into this crypto scam, I feel sorry for them. Money's too hard to come by nowadays. You can't afford to piss it away on, I don't know, somebody's fantasy. Well, I think the next president is going to have a lot of work to do, but it's going to be easier than most of you think because of the way Donald Trump has set up centralized power. The next president's going to step in and have all the extra powers to straighten it all out. I'm hoping that they unmask all the ICE agents, identify them, and basically put them on a no-fly list as a bunch of bigots that could be causing trouble. I saw what happened in Charlotte with the ICE agents there. Really proud of the people of Charlotte. Standing up for what's right. If the guy wants to go arrest a murderer or an actual rapist, no one's ever going to complain. But I'm sorry, you got to leave the cooks and the dishwashers and the maids alone. I wish they had actually redo the whole immigration policy from top to bottom. Overhaul it. Most Americans don't realize our birth rate has dropped. There aren't babies being born in America. There will be no working class because we won't have any people. So we actually are going to be dependent on immigrants at some point in the future. But I honestly feel the best thing American citizens can do is to stop voting for incumbents. If somebody's already been elected to office, they got to go. Vote them out. Get some fresh blood in there, some new people. It's the only way we can get change. We can't get change with the idiots that are in there now. They don't care about us. They only care about the corporations that are paying their current bribes. Personal opinion. Feel free to disagree. All you got to do is jump in the chat. Voice your opinion. Let yourself be heard. There's not a whole lot of free shows on TV. It's a matter of time until people get sick of all the commercials. They'll be drawn to this show. No upsell. I'm not trying to control or manipulate people. Not trying to scare people. I'm just simply trying to talk to them. I know, what a dastardly deed. But our viewership is up. Our subscribers are going up slowly. I'm figuring it's probably going to be at least another 6 months before the channel takes off, but it'll get there eventually. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. Well, I created the media company so that, eventually I can make some money, but I haven't decided what content I want to put on the air. I'm hoping people will get in the chat and give me suggestions. It's Fruit Punch Gatorade. I don't know, there's a little bit of glare. It's hard to read that, but that's all it is. I smoke pot and drink beer, but not until after the show's over. So if the show gets boring, it's all my fault. You can blame me. That's your proof that I'm not AI, that I'm a real guy. I'm not trying to sway anybody's opinion. I'm just talking because you guys aren't. Okay. Anytime you guys want to change the topic, just jump in the chat. Yeah, Crumbleline is going to get into all these analytics, and she's going to tell me what changes I need to make. I think I've taken care of the lighting issues. I do need some color in the background here, but I'll get there eventually. Just like I should put a shirt on. Okay. I'll get there eventually. Just not today. Well, it's 90 degrees in here. I'm not going to put an overshirt on when I'm already sweating. Well, my hair does look a little bit reddish, but it's really not. So tell me what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about? Yeah, this isn't all new to me. I haven't ever seen a live chat show where people didn't get in and chat. I thought everybody wanted to voice their opinion. I mean, that's why I started the show. Yeah, I was out to breakfast Tuesday morning, and I was hearing some people complaining about Las Vegas. They didn't complain about the town when I was working there. Okay. I think I made Las Vegas better, but just my opinion. It's my understanding that they're chasing away their low end play. They don't want poor people in town anymore. They only want the wealthy or the well-to-do. So they're trying to price the working man out of existence, I guess. And were I still there, I'd advise them against it. It's the working man that built the town. When I moved to Vegas, people were coming in and getting eggs, potatoes, toast, and coffee for $1, $2. Get a nice ham steak or something with it for $3, you know. And now I think there's one steak in Vegas that's under $10. Some little hole in the wall. Yeah, they're pricing themselves out. I heard that they're charging for parking. Well, charging for parking makes sense if you are on the island of Manhattan, where you've got more people than you've got room. But Las Vegas is in the middle of the high desert, and they've got plenty of room. Okay. They don't need to charge for parking. They're charging for parking because they want to. And I've seen over the years, I saw a lot of casinos doing bonehead moves. Well, these guys go to college, come out with the latest trends and try to implement them, and they piss more people off than they encourage. In my opinion. That's all I can offer you. One man's opinion sitting on one end of his couch. The Monday night football game, Thursday night football games, they start real late at night. I think that's ridiculous. Makes no sense. But I see the NFL doing one bonehead move after another too. Some of these sporting events, they're pricing the average Joe right out of being a fan. Well, the price of the tickets to see the game should be reasonably priced, and they're just not anymore. They raise the price that high, then the average guy can't afford to go to the game. Well, if you're, wanting to go see a crummy team, and I mean crummy by lower in the standards or in the standings, some outfit that is not a big draw, it's reasonably priced. But if you want to see somebody that's up in the standings, at the top of the standings, the price gets astronomical and the average guy can't afford to go. You're better off to stay home and watch it on TV. The Lions are playing the Giants this week. And the Giants don't really stand a chance. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an NFL game. Anything can happen, but the Giants just got rid of their head coach. So management's in disarray. That's not a good way to run a business. From my personal experience, I'll tell you that. Management needs to have their shit together. Okay. They have to know what they're doing. Otherwise, the team is doomed to fail. The Lions are not having a good year. Not as good as I was expecting. Their record is like 6-4. Yeah. I was expecting them to be 10-0. Personal opinion. And I am a Lions fan, so I'm looking at them through biased eyes. I'll admit that freely. It's my number one favorite activity is watching a Lions play on TV. Have no real interest in going to the game live. I really don't. Well, the games are too long. 3.5 hours, plus you got driving time. Then you got the cost of the tickets. Then you got the cost of the refreshments. Whereas I can just turn on my TV and watch them for, I don't know, whatever I got to pay that channel, $8 a month or something, Personal opinion. Yeah, the Lions, what they do in their division play is going to determine how their season goes from this point on. They've got too many losses, so they need to sweep their division games. Green Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago. Need to beat them all. That'll get them in the playoffs. Then anything can happen. But if they don't win those division games, they're not going to make the playoffs. And then if they don't make the playoffs, nothing can happen. I was shaking up my Gatorade yesterday and I didn't have the top all the way back on it. I threw Gatorade all over myself while I was live streaming. It was a wonderful sight. If you missed it, you should go back and look. Hey, if I was an AI character, I wouldn't be making a fool of myself. Okay. That's just proof that I'm a real guy. Hopefully, somebody will jump into chat here and say hi. And I'm trying to understand who YouTube is marketing us to, and it's confusing me. Of the people that have been in the chat room thus far, it's mostly international. United Kingdom, England, Turkey, Hungary, Latvia, Indonesia. Oh, and I should probably include Hawaii in there. And we also heard from North Carolina. And I got a buddy in Pennsylvania. But it appears that YouTube is marketing this show more internationally than they are nationally. Meaning just the US, but well, it could be me. I could be in the wrong category. That's, Thumbelina is, Crumbelina is researching all that. She'll set me straight. Well, originally I had hit the wrong buttons when I set up the channel, so I said, yes, it's available for children. That turned out to be a mistake. So I changed that. And now I'm under the category of people and blogs, and that might not be where we're supposed to be either. I kind of feel like a blind man with a new house, just kind of feeling my way through it. A blind man would probably do a better job. Well, it is what it is. My production department is horrible. These guys, meaning, just me. I'm the OOO of Ghost Mostly Media, LLC. OOO, the only operating officer. There's no one else. No makeup artist, no production staff. If I did all that stuff, and then I'd have to do this for profit somehow. And that wouldn't work. You got to get monetized before you can have for profit, right? The channel's not monetized yet. So now I was thinking that I might do some short stories or some plays or something like that. Once I get the channel monetized. I see no reason to put out any other content yet when it's not going to pay me to do it. It seems like it'd be a waste of time. I could be all wrong. Probably am. It won't be my first mistake, and it won't be my last mistake. So, even though I'm flawed, I still love myself. So, what can I tell you? And I'm still waiting for what to do on these video editing software. Well, I'm afraid some of it might be past my or beyond my computer expertise, which is minuscule at best. Okay. I bought my first computer in the late 80s. And never took any classes. I started out just doing computer games. And fast forward to now, and I'm live streaming. I never planned on doing it. It just happened. Well, sometimes the best things in life you just fall into. I don't know. We'll see. See how it works out. Yeah, I'm thinking I need to move my speech from the end of the show to the beginning of the show. The whole live and let live thing that I do. Well, I'm just tired of watching people that are constantly in conflict when they don't need to be. You can do anything you want with your time, but to me, it seems a waste of time to try to tell other people how to live their life. I don't see what these people think, they're going to get out of it. So what do you guys want to talk about? Jump in the chat. Straighten me out. Yeah. Most of my adult career, I was in Las Vegas working in table games in the casinos, blackjack, craps, and roulette, and everything in between. 33-year career. Started as a table games dealer and got as high as casino shift manager. I didn't care for the added responsibilities, moving up the corporate ladder, as it were. I wasn't impressed. I used to tell them openly, the higher up I get, the closer to the door I get, because I just didn't like it. I liked the customers, I liked my coworkers, but I didn't care for corporate America. From what I saw, it sucks. If it didn't suck, they wouldn't have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Okay. Now, some parts of corporations appear to be flawed. They all seem to lack a certain amount of accountability. Which is odd because the low guy on the totem pole is always accountable. He's always held accountable. But not so much the guys at the high end. They are never held accountable. Which makes no sense. Well, it's the same thing with the country, the United States. They have a paper trail on all of us. Follows you your whole life. I was talking to somebody yesterday that their father had passed away and they were trying to get a copy of his DD 214. Why would you need a copy of a dead guy's DD 214? Makes no sense. For those of you that haven't been in the military, DD 214 is, your disposition of your discharge, I believe, something like that. And it's my understanding that the guy that they're looking for the paperwork for was a veteran. And all the children were trying to do was Get him a military funeral? Shouldn't be that difficult. Well, they're caught up in the whole bureaucracy of the government. That means that they're talking to the guys at the bottom of the totem pole instead of the guys at the top. Okay. It's a shame. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Come up with something. I'm getting bored. Hopefully, somebody will be in for the last half of the show. We get viewers. We just don't get people chatting. Strikes me as odd because when I used to get in chat rooms back in the day, everybody was in them. I don't know what happened to open chat rooms. I think I used to chat back in the day in the 80s, AOL, in the 90s, Yahoo, maybe. Well, then I got too busy and didn't have time to chat. And once I retired, I look and the chat rooms are all structured. They want to talk about a specific topic. I don't want to determine what we talk about. My personal preference is the chat runs the whole show. Okay. I should just be reading fast and trying to keep up. Yeah, the glare off my glasses is horrible today. I find that real irritating. I see no reason to replace this camera or microphone. They work just fine. But if I were to replace that camera, it would, change the glare. If you guys ain't in the chat, I don't need to wear the glasses, but I only need them to see. Yeah, I just got these glasses this year. Just after the first year. I like them. They're all right. I'm not a candidate for LASIK surgery. But I've known a number of people that have gotten it and they like it. They don't have to wear their glasses or contacts anymore. Most recently, my niece got the surgery, and she's real happy. All right, enough of being blind. Well, I got all these printouts in front of me, and I've gotten used to reading them. They just give me stats on the show, how long I've been live, number of current viewers, number of likes, that kind of crapola. Or I guess I probably shouldn't call it crapola. Okay. I'm not a detail guy. Some people are very detail oriented. I'm just not. I used to be. But on most of this stuff, I really just don't care. I should probably work on that. Why don't I care? That's a major question. Maybe I should get back into counseling and find out why I don't care. When I was casino shift manager, I paid attention to every detail. I didn't miss anything. Well, I should correct that. Some of the details I missed on purpose because some of them I didn't agree with. I wasn't big on some of the things I was supposed to be big on, like employee attendance records. I'm sorry. That's absurd. If you trust the guy to be your employee, why do you got to track what days off he has? You don't. They choose to so that at a later date, if they need to, they can generate a paper trail. I refuse to do it. I thought it was a waste of time and resources. I had, I actually had a supervisor back in the day that called me in the office and he destroyed my file in front of me. And that corrupted me. And I just, as I moved up the corporate ladder, there was just certain things that I wasn't willing to do. I'm sorry. Johnny Doe called in sick on Friday. He called in sick on his Friday. Get past it. He's got a life. I didn't want to see doctor's slips or no. I'm sorry, I wasn't that kind of a supervisor. I considered that to be an invasion of privacy. If he'd have called in every Friday, okay. But he didn't. So leave the guy alone. Okay. I I took a few shortcuts when I got into management that hopefully the staff that worked under me felt a sigh of relief that I wasn't plotting against them at a future date. Okay. Well, that was in the casino industry. The casino industry it's a customer service thing. And if a guy is good at customer service, you got to cut him some slack and let him do his job, in my opinion. Yeah, I got a lot of opinions. Sorry. They're not all the right opinions, I'm sure. There's just, I don't, you can still supervise an employee without having to be an asshole, in my opinion. I knew a lot of shift managers that took that the other way, and if you were late, they had to log it in your file. If you did anything, it had to be logged in your file. These same guys like to spend all their time writing warning slips and counseling employees. And that just wasn't my cup of tea. I actually, as a supervisor, I wanted a totally different direction. I'd go and go down to the gift shop and I'd buy $5 worth of candy. And I'd bring it back to the work area and tell the employees we were having a contest and who was the friendliest. And the winner got all the candy. It's the little things like that that get you through the workday, in my opinion. I'm sure upper management didn't see it that way, but they didn't fire me. But I enjoyed helping people, especially if they were going through it, you know. It's one of the things I talk to people about with my whole live and let live. You don't know what that guy's going through. So you got to cut him some slack. Lighten up on him and hopefully he won't come in with a M16. Okay. I just, stress is killing people all over the planet. And those people don't need to be harassed. I look at it the other way. They need someone on their side. Personal opinion. I don't know. Maybe had I been in a different line of work, I might have, you know, table games department, lives weren't hanging in the balance, Gambling as a whole, it really boils down to transactions per hour. I don't know. When you have an itchy mustache, does that mean you're coming into money? Or no, that's an itchy palm. I don't know what an itchy mustache means. Maybe it means you put too much beard softener on it or something. I don't know. My mustache itches. It's tingly. I don't know why. But yeah, we didn't have life depending on us, but the way the casino makes money, the player makes money, the dealer makes money, it all boils down to net transactions per hour. How many decisions did you get? It's like the speed at which you play a slot machine. If you're losing, you might want to slow down. If you're winning, you might want to go faster. I mean, I just noticed that, and I'm like, well, that makes sense to me. But in that 33-year career, I think I saw it all. I think I saw everything that there was to be seen. The most I ever saw some guy win was $875,000. He won it in 36 hours playing blackjack. The most I ever saw anyone lose, I saw a guy lose, what was it? I don't know, $13,000 in a matter of 20 minutes. Yeah. Well, maybe to him, 13,000 was what $10 is to you and me. Who am I to judge? Well, that falls right back into that live and let live. Who are you to judge? Cut people some slack. Let them lead their own life. Let them make their own mistakes. I honestly believe that that's the main thing wrong with America, is people are trying to judge each other and trying to tell each other how to do things, and it's absurd. Let them cut their own path. Let them choose their own way. In my opinion, that makes more sense. I mean, realistically, the reason we have cities, the reason we have towns, villages, communities, is because when people collaborate, when people work together, they succeed. They achieve more goals faster. They build better and stronger and bigger. That's why we have cities. That's why you have co-workers. Everybody's working together to the same goal. If you look at the news media here in the United States, they're using and bias to manipulate and control people. Republicans and Democrats is the best example that jumps to mind. If you're a Democrat, you need to be friends with the Republicans, and vice versa. If you're a Republican, you need to be friends with the Democrats so that you can work together. Find common ground, find a level of compromise that both can survive. So every time you see a Democrat telling you Republicans are bad and evil, no, they're not. You just don't know how to do your job. You don't know how to go get along with other people. You don't have to vilify the other side. It's okay to disagree. It's also okay to agree. What would happen in America tomorrow if all the Democrats and all the Republicans sat down and they said, we're going to solve this immigration problem once and for all? The problem would get solved. It's really that simple. But if the Republicans telling you that the Democrat's an evil bastard that's plotting against you, they're trying to divide you. They're trying to get you to be hateful, untrusting. That's not the road to compromise. That's the road to division, right? I mean, think about it. If you're a Republican, you should be buddies with all the Democrats. That way, when you got legislation that you want to get passed, you can say, hey, buddy, take a look at what I've created. But if you can't get along, if you can't sit in the same room with him for 5 minutes, how are you going to get anything done? You've got to be able to put aside your differences and sit and communicate. You need each other. You need to find some common ground and create a positive working relationship in order to build. I mean, in my mind, I break it down to you're on a construction site. You've got a Democrat on one end of a board and you've got a Republican on the other end of the board. And they can't work together enough to put the damn board in place so that nails can be put in. You've got to be able to get along with that guy, and you're not going to be able to get along with him if you're telling everybody that you see every time you get on TV, you're telling the whole world that that guy's evil. He's the bad guy. which is why I'm telling people, vote them all out of office and let's get a new batch in there. These guys can't work together. They don't have a clue. I was trying to figure out how to explain Democrats and Republicans, and I come up with an idea. Picture America as being one of those giant cruise ships. I mean, really big suckers. And the cruise ships run aground. And you, as the Democrat, are lining all your other Democrats up alongside you and saying, everybody push this way. And then the Republicans are on the other side of the cruise ship, and they're all lined up shoulder to shoulder, and they're all pushing the opposite direction. Democrats are pushing this way, Republicans are pushing this way. And why is the boat still stuck in the sand? Why isn't it sailing? Why isn't it moving? They're wasting each other's efforts, working against each other. What happens when they all push in the same direction? They can get it off the ground and it gets back to floating like it's supposed to. I hope that helps put a frame into it that you can understand. But the futility of one man pushing in one direction and another man pushing in the opposite direction, they've canceled each other out. No progress can be made. Take the same train of thought. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other side of the ship. Then you've got half of America, which is still aboard the ship, and they're turning a blind eye saying, I don't want to get involved. I don't know which way to push, so it's better off that I stay here. Let someone else right the ship. That's half of America. Maybe 10 years ago, they tried to be on one side or the other, but eventually they gave up and they just said, piss on it. I'm not voting. I'm not getting involved in politics. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to think about politics. I don't want to see politics. Half of America is fed up. Literally half. $80 million Americans voted for the Republican. 80 million Americans voted for the Democrat. That's 160 million Americans. Newsflash, there's 340 million Americans. So less than half are doing all the voting. Ta-da! Do you see where the problem is? Half the country is still aboard the cruise ship. They don't want to get off and push. They're not willing. Well, if you can understand what I'm trying to say here, you understand American politics as I see it. You just saw with the government shutdown, and they were not willing to fund SNAP. 42 million Americans collect food stamps. And we're the richest country in the world. 300 million Hey, Dave, how's it going? Welcome back. Good to see you. I'll get back to that topic at another date. Dave just jumped in the chat to save me, keep me from falling down that rabbit hole. Well, I'm just trying to put it into terms that people can understand, and to me, it seems like we're wasting our time if we don't get everybody to help put the boat back in the water. Including the people that aren't participating in the elections. The people that gave up trying. What we've got is the wheelhouse, the part where they steer the boat. That's all our billionaires. Both sides, Republican and Democrat. They're the ones in the wheelhouse trying to steer the ship. They don't have a clue what they're doing because they are the ones that ran the ship aground. It's such an immense problem. And once it gets fixed, the country could actually move forward. We could improve things. Quality of life for all Americans could improve. Not just for the Republicans and not just for the Democrats, but for all Americans. It seems like an impossible task. And in that scenario, there's no heavy equipment to bail us out. Good point. Good point, Dave. If the ship is steered by the elite or blown by the wind, the crew and passengers have no influence at all. None. Oh, so valid. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I'm glad I got this point through. It's just It's a clusterfuck. Pardon my language, but that's what it is. The country can't move forward until they do something together. Together, it'd be easy. But with everybody pushing in the wrong direction, that's not good with the K word, okay? We never want to incite any violence of any kind. Personal opinion. But I understand what you're saying. Your point is that at some point we need to start over. Unfortunately, the elites hold all the power. And all they care about is self-enrichment. I saw what happened with Doge, for instance. And it convinced me that the elites just, they don't care about anybody or anything other than their own enrichment. They can't see past their greed. Yeah. Oh, they're doing their best. This latest fiasco of sending $40 billion to Argentina to prop up some dictator. That's taxpayer money. Why didn't they use their own money? If they thought it was such a sound investment, they should have used their own money. Then no one would have ever been able to complain. But when they used the taxpayer money, our money, they crossed a line. Did you ever see one of them videos where you got a bag of flour was ripped open by two dogs? They're both sitting there covered with flour, and the owner came home and saw the mess, and looks at both dogs and says, "Who did this?" The look in those dogs' eyes, that's what I see every time I look at the elites. It's the same. They get glossed over and they're like, it's anybody but me. It's anybody but me. That I know. I probably should have stepped with the cruise ship. I think I made a valid point, though. Oh, yeah. That's a dangerous job, Dave. Very dangerous job because they really have nothing to lose. That's what happens when you take away hope from a human being. Oh, yeah. I concur. I agree 100%. You are so right, my friend. So right. Yeah. I think that's a whole nother group. When you take all hope away, no one can see it, the light at the end of the tunnel. They can't see any way out. They become desperate. And when people get desperate, uncontrolled fear is the most dangerous thing on the planet. Uncontrolled fear, human beings lose all rational thought. Nothing makes sense anymore. No. The elite, they're so lost at that point that they're spinning the wheel on the cruise ship saying, it won't go. It won't go. They don't know what to do. I've got a granddaughter. She's 17. At 17, in a country that's $40 trillion in debt. Why should she have any hope when she's 17 and the country is $40 trillion in debt? Oh, no, she is not in debt. Believe me. Her father, my oldest son, is extremely conservative, and she has no debt, and her paychecks, 30% is what he's telling her to put into savings. I'm not sure she can hold with that as she gets older, but she understands the value of saving and the pitfalls of debt. But that $40 trillion debt that this nation has, that's massive. And it's going to take generations, plural, generations, to pay it off. Yes, I agree. Old-fashioned values, especially when it comes to family, especially when it comes to family. A lot of our society right now in the United States, I can't speak on other countries, only here, but in the United States, greed has knocked our value system off kilter. I see people that think, oh, it's okay to disown a member of the family, turn your back on them. They were weak. They don't belong with us. That is not the values that built this country. Family values. They need to save that family member instead of ostracizing them. I agree. Technology is a pitfall, and I don't know the solution to that. Let me ask you this: have you noticed? I've noticed. I was in a restaurant the other morning, and I looked over. There's a booth, 4 people sitting at it, 2 adults and 2 older children, and all 4 of them were on a device. They were all on their phone, scrolling away. No conversation going on at the table at all. Not one word. How do we fix that? You've got to be able to keep, these are your family members. You've got to be able to communicate. If you can't communicate with your own family, how the hell are you going to communicate with anyone? I don't know. I don't know how we can, as a society, fix that. But none of those people, of the 4 that I'm talking about that are scrolling, none of them were in the moment. None of them were enjoying the companionship of their loved ones. Yeah, we did. We did. We eventually pulled the earphones out and started communicating, right? We were the ones, my generation, we had the music cranked up so loud, you couldn't have a conversation in that room if you wanted to. And now the loud music is fading down. Yeah. I'm glad you stopped in today, Dave. You make good sense, man. You do. I appreciate you. I think it really boils down to communication. As long as we can communicate with people and connect with them, that'll save us. But I don't know how we can get these people to put their devices down long enough to establish a real relationship with one another. And it's so important. I've been meeting good people my whole life. And it really warms my heart. It truly warms my heart every time I meet good people, such as yourself. You know, I can connect with good people so quickly, so easily. A lot of times, what I see happening with people is they have to lose someone close to them in order to realize that they need to reestablish their connections, reestablish their bonds with their loved ones. They've just gotten so distant, and sadly it takes a death in the family to pull them together, and they're like, oh, why don't I talk to you every month? Why don't I can just call you, you know? I've seen this in my own family, you know. But I tell people all the time on here, walk out your front door and point to the bad guy. You can't. You may not like the way that guy's dressed, but that doesn't make him a bad guy. Yeah. You never know what someone's going through. You don't know what's on their plate. How much pressure is that neighbor under? You just don't know. You got no way to know unless you establish a friendship and then he lets you in. But in our society, we don't want to let people in. That's why I want this show to be inclusive, not exclusive. This is not an exclusive club. This is an inclusive club. We want everyone to come in and everyone to feel free to voice their opinion. Everyone has the right to be heard. It matters. People matter. I don't just value my life. I value all human life. Every human life has value, whether you can see it or not. Maybe this guy's an asshole right now because of his personal environment, the pressures that he's under. He's too busy to talk to you today. He's got so much on his mind. You don't know what he's got on his plate. But tomorrow, he might be able to take the time and say, wow, I want to talk to people. I want to communicate. I want to share. I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. You're on the right track, Dave. Trust me when I tell you that. I love your frame of mind. Okay. You're seeing the big picture. I respect that. I see that you're jumping in at the end of the show again, though. Every time we start having a good conversation, it's time to end the show. It's all right. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Afternoon Chat's the name of the show. I enjoyed talking to you today, Dave. I do appreciate you viewing. Afternoon Chat is Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone is welcome. The rules are simple. Be nice. Be nice to everybody. You're going to like the end result. The only real rules in here are we need to follow the community guidelines established by YouTube. Anything else that goes wrong, we can fix. Okay? We just don't need to piss off YouTube and get knocked off the air. Okay? Everybody's opinion is welcome, but it's not required. There's no commercials. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. I'm simply trying to talk to people and meet people. And there's no hustle, no manipulation, no control. A 100% free show, no midstream ads, no sponsors. The only thing you can really do wrong in this chat room is not have a good time. Everything else we can fix. I do need to ask you to like and subscribe if you could. This will help with the channel to get us out there in front of more people. But it's not required. If you can't do it, don't sweat it. I appreciate everyone that's taken the time to watch and participate in the show. Kudos to our friend Dave for sharing with us today. He's been the star of the show. You'll find this show real easy going. Shouldn't stress you out at all. Hopefully, we'll build a large community that wants to talk on a daily basis. It's going to take time. The show's relatively new. Be patient. We'll get to where we need to be eventually. I'll figure out what I'm doing. YouTube will figure out what I'm doing. Okay? Don't stress. Stress is killing people all over the planet. Don't get radicalized. You might need to self-censor. You might need to shut the news off. Control your intake of bad information. You might need some counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally like to be able to dump my problems on somebody else and walk away. I find it quite, I don't know, it unburdens me. It relieves me of stress. Personal opinion's the only thing I can offer you. That and the opportunity to voice your personal opinion. It's free. I know there's no one else on TV saying the things that I'm saying. I understand. The corporate media is trying to control and manipulate the masses by using fear. I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. The good people in this world outnumber the bad people in this world by a lot. It's a lot of good people. I've been meeting them for years. They don't wish harm on anyone. They're trying to build for a future. Oh. Penny, delete that. Right click on it and delete it. I'll tell you why later. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all the views and the likes. Come see me again tomorrow at 3. Everyone is welcome. Be nice to everyone all of the time. You'll like the end result. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful, safe day. Bye.